You wanted to talk about the liberation of Bergen-Belsen.
Yeah. Now, I was talking about
how you were liberated.
Yeah, yeah. So they went. They went and they put us over there in those rooms, and we got. I was telling you that we got lice next day.
Yes.
And we didn't have no water. We couldn't go to no bathrooms. They didn't let us go to no bathrooms. We didn't need it, but sometimes we need it. So whatever we could, we did. We went over there close till somebody didn't look. We ran in for a minute and came right out. It was very. They didn't have no water. They couldn't. It was open. It was an open pit with a few seats. But I don't know. I don't know really what was over there. I maybe once I went over there. For the whole time, I didn't need to go. Who needed to go? If you don't eat, you don't drink. Just a little teeny bit. You don't need to go. And we were there. But the Polish women, somehow they figured out, they had 2 rooms, they figured out they're going to take a few Jewish girls. Yeah. They made a little space in a corner, and they came over and they said they can take in 40 girls. So I was one between the 40 girls. And it was a little teeny bit better. At least we were laying on wood. They had part wood, and they gave us that part. They had bunkers, you know, those beds, but we had wood. At least we didn't lay on the cement. We were laying at least on the wood.
But you had the lice at this time?
We still had. Everybody had. Mm-hmm. Even Polish women, everybody. Because the whole thing was full of lice. If you don't let people wash, if you don't, you have to get lice. Mm-hmm. Then one night, it came a Polish priest into the Polish barrack. And he said to I don't know how he could go in, but he came in and he said to the Polish women, they should pray. The war will be soon over. So they started to pray, and he said to us, and you pray in your way. It was nice. So we prayed. All of a sudden we see outside it gets light. We didn't know what it is, so we ran to the door to see what's all of a sudden like a yellow light. What goes on? So the priest held us back. He said, kids, don't go out. The Germans can shoot you. It's almost the end from the war. And you know, they put the planes or whoever put the lights, they shoot up. How do you call that? I don't even know. They shoot up at things and it gets light.
A spotlight they put in?
Like a light, and then it was slowly coming down, that light. The military knows about it. I don't know how you call it. It's a light. And 2 of them they put in. We didn't know, you know. So we figured, oh, they want to know where we are. They're looking for us. You know, we were imagining a little bit. Maybe they did. Maybe it was true. I don't know. So this was one night. We were, you wouldn't believe it, how much hope that gave us. We figured we're going to live. We're going to live the war through. And I don't remember how many days later. I know I was in that camp for 2 weeks. One time we see that was here wire, and here was the road. And in the back of us were the burning, the dead people. After us there was no more camps. And on this side from beginning, there were foreign people, also Jews, let's say American citizens, I don't know, from all other different countries, maybe English, who knows, I don't know, were over there in that camp with their own belongings, with clothes and everything. So we could talk.
You know that there were American citizens?
Somewhere, I know, somewhere. And we talked to them and we found out they are Jews, but they are foreigners. We saw they were dressed nice, you know, like we were wearing already who knows whose clothes, with the lining open, with everything here. No underlining, just the top, everything was ripped out. And all of a sudden, during the day, we hear a little tank coming. A little tank coming the road and stopping. And we all ran to the wires. We all ran. We screamed, oh, you know, and the dust was coming up. And the tank turns around and goes away. We were so disappointed. We figured the Germans made up something. We were so disappointed, you wouldn't believe it. Some girls were crying. And I don't remember how long later, we saw it came a jeep with 4 speakers. And they were talking in all kind of languages. That we liberated, and that they cannot let us out because we are sick, typhus is going around, and they have still to go and fight the Germans, and they don't want the soldiers should get sick, and the ship with food is on the way. It's coming plenty food. Meantime, we were still starving of hunger. People were still dying from sickness, from hunger, from everything. At least we knew we liberated. And you see, they had on top those things, those where the guards was watching us. We looked up and nobody was there anymore. For a short time, when the Germans ran away, before the English came, I forgot to tell you that. Before the English came in, the Germans ran away and they gave to the Hungarian war prisoners, they gave the guards to watch us. So some people, I don't know how, through the wire, got outside, and over there on the other side, there was ditches where you put potatoes and all kind of stuff, and then you cover, farmers doing this, and they cover with dirt. So the girls went over there and grabbed potatoes, and the Hungarian soldiers went and shot them. It was just before liberation. One was a sister, there were 2 sisters, the whole time with my camp, and one was shot. Quite a few girls were shot. I don't know how many. You know, that's heartbreaking. But then, now this I forgot. Then when we were liberated, we were not supposed to go out, no place. They said they're going to send us food. Meantime, we didn't get no food maybe for 2-3 days. So we went over, and those, when the Germans left, they took those foreign citizens, they took with them. And they left sick people and a lot of clothing there. And we didn't have much. So when we knew the English are here already, and we knew the English won't shoot us, so we went over and got some clothes, and we came back. And I took myself a fur coat I had.
Where did you get this? When you said
the people with English citizens, American citizens, and who knows from South America, who knows from what country, Chinese, who knows what kind of countries they were. Over there, they were in camp with all the belongings and everything. So when the Germans took them, maybe as hostages, or I don't even know why they took them. So they went, so we went in. We opened the wire and we went in and got ourselves clothes, you know, to be dressed. And I even got myself a fur coat. And at least I was warm. And then we came back, and the English started to give us to eat.
What did they give you first to eat?
Soup, mostly soup, heavy soup, with big pieces of meat and big pieces of fat. And that was no good, because our stomachs couldn't take it. It's why after the war, after the people started to eat, they got again sick. I myself got sick then. So now I have to tell you something about my sister. I didn't tell you. Did I say already about my sister?
What about your sister?
My sister died 3 days before liberation.
No.
Now, when the English started to give us food, we were not supposed to go. We couldn't get out from the camps. You see, it was one big camp, but we would divide it, and I'm calling that the smaller camps. So the girls went to the kitchen. Was one big kitchen, one kitchen. Girls went with a garbage can, but a clean garbage can. They went over there, 2 girls with a garbage can, and they brought the food. So sometimes in the kitchen over there, girls switched. And then when they brought back the empty can, they switched back. You understand what I'm saying? And they brought us, one time, one girl from our town came, and I recognized her. I said, "You from Belgium?" She said, "Yes." I said, "Maybe a girl, Topcha Altman, is over there, my sister." She said, "Yeah, she's over there." She said, "Let me switch with you. You go back, I switch with you tomorrow back." She said, "I can't. I have to switch today, and tomorrow I'm going to switch with you." I said, "Okay." So I figured, my sister's alive. She came next day, and she said, "I'm sorry, I made a mistake. Your sister isn't there. I thought she is there. She isn't there." So, okay, people can make a mistake. Meantime, I figured to myself, I'm going. The English are here. They're not going to shoot me. What I'm worried about? I'm going. We tried to open, open the gates, because the English won't shoot us. So we tried to open the gate, and I went through. I said, "I'm going to look for my sister," I told the girls. And I walked, and the soldiers were sitting by a table in front by the kitchen and talking between themselves. And I'm walking. And they were afraid to come near me because they figured I'm sick. And they started to say, "Go back, go back, go back." I didn't listen. I went. I said, "They're not going to shoot me. I'm going to another camp. I'm not going out. I'm going to another camp." And I went in there. And I asked, "Where that and that camp girls are there from Greenbaum?" And somebody showed me this camp, this barrack, the barrack. So I went over there to the barrack, and I'm looking around for the girls. Maybe I recognize my sister. A girl stands up, and she starts to cry, and she starts to hug me. And she said, "Is your name Altman?" I said, "Yes." "Do you have a sister, Topcha?" "Yeah." She said, "Topcha was here. She died 3 days ago." She asked me, I want to see her. When I was coming in, there were dead people laying like that and then like that. Dead people, piles. I said, I don't want to see my sister in that kind of condition. I don't want to see her. But when later the Germans, I was sorry later, I didn't see her. So when they brought in the Germans, you know, the people, the townspeople, they brought in, and they should take those people to the, they had mass graves. In Bergen-Belsen, you're going to see a few of those mass graves in the old camp. So they were tying up the feet, and they were pulling the dead people on the road to the dead camp. And I stood there for hours. I figured maybe I see my sister. I didn't. And then I said, she lived through the whole war and didn't even didn't live through to be liberated. I'm going to tell you something. It's heartbreaking. I have to tell you a little bit more how I saved second time the picture. So the English soldiers, I got sick. I was 2 weeks in the death camp, and they came finally for us because we came the last ones in. After us, nobody came in no more. My husband came to Bergen-Belsen too, but he wasn't in that camp anymore. They took him to Celle. It was another barrack over there, so they took him over there. So I got sick and the soldiers took me to the hospital. So before they took me to the hospital, they went and there was, I don't know where the place was. They took the sick people and they put on a table to wash and to cut the hair. That's why you're asking me about how you got rid of the lice. And then they put powder on us. That must be powder. First of all, they washed us. Now, I kept those pictures in my hand, and I was sick. And I was saying, meine Bilder, meine Bilder. I just want to have the Bilder, nothing else, meine Bilder. It means my pictures, my pictures. I didn't want to have nothing, just the pictures. I was naked, completely. And a woman was washing me. I think I must have woke up when they put water on me or something, I don't know, because I kept my hand closed and I was saying, meine Bilder. And she said, I just want to wash you this hand. So I didn't want to open it. I was scared. She said, take on to this hand must have been washed already. She had put in this hand. So I put in this hand like that, and then she washed me. But the pictures I didn't want to let part for no money, for nothing. I didn't want to part with those pictures. And then I came, when they washed me, they put me in two blankets, military blankets. They put me upstairs in a room. I don't know, I must have slept, I don't know. I know when I woke up, I kept that hand tight, and underneath a pillow, there was a pillow, no pillowcase, just a pillow and 2 blankets. I was completely naked. One underneath blanket, one on top of blanket. And then, and like that, I was laying till I got well. I didn't have nothing what to wear, and they didn't give me nothing. Until
what were you sick with? What?
Typhoid. Yeah, typhoid.
Yes.
And then a friend of mine came. Well, I was with her in concentration camp. She came, and you know, she was going around from room to room. She was well. And she was going around room to room looking for people, for friends. And she saw me. She came in, she said, "Oh, what you doing? Oh, you alive? You know, we only spoke, are you alive?" That's all. She sees I'm naked. I must have covered myself or something. Naked. She said, "What do you mean you're naked?" I said, "I don't know. I couldn't walk. I lay." I said, "That's all what I have. Nothing. The pictures I have." She said, "I'm coming tomorrow, I'm bringing you something." Guess what she brought me? A concentration camp uniform. Would you believe it? After the war, I was liberated. I was wearing a pair of pants in stripes and a jacket in stripes. And this way I started to walk, because I couldn't walk before. I was naked. And then we started to get, you know, if you get a little healthier, you want to get a little bit more in action, like. So we asked there was, between all the English medics or whoever they were, I don't know, there was one woman wearing a white top, you know, like a doctor's top. Maybe she was a doctor, I don't know. She was taking care of the whole block, what we were there. And we asked her, maybe she has something, some material where we can make ourselves a pair of panties or a bra. She said she doesn't have nothing, can give us a parachute. We said, "Let me a parachute. What's the difference? A parachute. But we need a scissor and needles and thread." And she brought us. And one girl over there went and cut it up, and each one of us made ourselves a pair of panties and a bra and a skirt from one of the blankets. Do you believe it? And wait a minute, and a blouse. Forgot about the blouse. At least we were decent. We could go out. Look, I couldn't walk yet. I was walking and holding myself, but at least something. I could sit. As soon as I could sit, I was, you know, my hand was shaking. I got so weak. This hand, when I was sick, this hand I couldn't move. I was carrying like that, wherever I want to take it.
What happened to the clothes that you came into the hospital with? Did they get rid of them?
Oh, they took everything away. You see, they for the lights. We didn't care for the lights. By then we got used to the lights. But they took everything. They cut my hair a little bit short. I had long hair. But they cut a little bit. I didn't want it. She should cut me. She said, "But I have to cut a little bit. You have to have it above the ear." So she cut here and there. And this way we walked around till the hair grew in a little bit. But then when we left the hospital, then they gave us a piece of paper for a pair of shoes, for a coat, for a dress. That's all. Maybe a bra and a pair of panties too. I don't remember. But that skirt from a blanket, a long time I was wearing it.
Describe the doctors and nurses at that hospital.
I don't know. There was like soldiers. I don't know if they were medics. Now I know about medics. Then I didn't know about medics. I don't think so. One time, I'm going to tell you something. There was one German from Red Cross. What he said, he has 2 daughters. And the 2 daughters, who knows what happened to them. So he wants to help me. So he brought me water with lemon. I don't know why he brought me the water with lemon. So I drank how much every time he passed by, or once, twice, I don't remember how many times. He gave me water with lemon. So I drank water with lemon. So long until I got a brown rash here around the stomach. I don't know till today I never asked a doctor here what the brown rash. So one time I was feeling already a little better. It came in a group of, that woman came in with the white coat, and some more. And I saw there must be some doctors or something. So I said, could you, any doctor over there, could you tell me what that brown rash, what I have? So I opened it. I wasn't shy. I wasn't ashamed. What, naked, no big deal. And that person's naked too. So it didn't matter. You know, life by me was like I wouldn't do nothing to nobody, but my life was like worth nothing. I got used to it already. So I just uncovered and showed him here the rash. And he looked, and some other guys came, looked, and then he takes the blanket and covers me, maybe by mistake, I don't know, it goes over my head. And I start to cry. I didn't cry for a long, long time. By my sister I cried. My sister cried. I didn't cry. I said, he covers me already. It means it's the finish. What else was I supposed to think when he covered me? But somehow I survived. I don't know how. Tell you the truth. I have one explanation, because we were young. That's all. Not one old. When we came already to different camps, you know, Bergen-Belsen and later to Pfalzheim, you saw only young people. You didn't see not one old person. When the Russian Jews from Russia came with children, it was to us something like from the moon. We looked at those kids, we couldn't believe those kids are alive. Jewish kids are alive. Couldn't believe it. Yeah. My husband, if he saw a child, you wouldn't believe it what he did with that child. He hugged it, he kissed it. I was afraid I was going to squeeze it.
The staff in the hospital, were they Polish?
Who?
The nurses, the doctors?
No, not Polish. Some Red Cross was German Red Cross, and the rest was English. All of them were English. We couldn't understand. German we could understand. By then we could understand a little bit German, but English we couldn't understand. So you know, we showed. She said parachute we understood. They gave us a whole parachute. We divided the whole room, all the girls, 8 girls. We all divided, everybody was sewing and you know, with things, that was it.
But they treated you well while you were in the hospital?
In the hospital, yeah, you know, you were sick. When I was really sick, most of the time I was asleep. I remember they woke me up, because when they gave me food, I was sleeping. So they went and they fed me. They fed me big pieces of fat meat, and that was no good for us. But maybe they didn't know. Big pieces of fat meat. The soup was okay. Yeah.
Is there anything else that you want to say about your wartime experiences that you didn't mention? You said there was something you wanted to say about Flossenburg.
Yeah, Flossenburg.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Can you stop it?
Okay.